Okay, so our bodies, we're in a 3D experience. We're here in a body. Our soul is pulling us towards to follow our intuition. What is going on with our bodies and manifestation? Let's share the screen here and go right in to how our bodies tell us whether or not we are within alignment to our manifestation. So the more that you clear away the negative energy, the limiting beliefs, the more that you start to raise your energy, and the more that you raise your energy, the more that your frequency is at a higher peak, so you can manifest in more of what you want. Now, some of you may be familiar with this particular vibrational scale, and it's the vibrational scale that shows us how our emotions are associated to our vibration. Now, there's plenty of videos on YouTube about what all of this means and how to interpret it, but I'm going to give you my experience and my spiritual insights into what this all means. So, how you feel within your body, even if you check in now, is there any heaviness? Are you feeling stressed? You sort of easing into Claire, get to the point. How you feel within your body will show up in your outer world. So if you strongly believe, and I'm trying to think of something different, but uh, no, nothing's really coming to mind. If you're feeling, yeah, if you're feeling sad, hopeless, almost to the point of depression, if you're feeling that, you will continue to attract in more scenarios that give you evidence on that hopelessness and that sense of depression. It drives me nuts when friends say, "Oh, everybody I've been encountering these days, they seem to have a level of hopelessness and people aren't really out there buying very much and my business, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, hold up, put up my energetic boundaries. But it was like, to that particular person, how depleted, hopeless are you feeling? Because that's in inside of you, and so you're going to have the universe will mirror that back to you to let you know where you are on this particular scale. If you're thinking, if you're going to a shopping center and everybody seems a bit blank and a bit tired and a bit hopeless, check in with yourself, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some high vibrational people skipping past and you're not even aware of it. It's almost like got your blinders on. So when it comes to manifesting, personal success with manifesting has its foundation in our emotional success. Whatever our external goals that we want to reach, again, like the car, we're aiming for it because it makes us feel good. That sense of like, oh, look at me, I can have what I want, maybe a sense of security, um, whatever we want outside of ourselves. Um, we want it because we believe that that will make us feel good, whole, complete. And on some level, it may. But yeah, it just comes back to that point of like, why do you want what you want? So simply put, by suppressing our feelings, squashing down those triggers, ignoring the hopelessness, the doubt, squashing that down, suppressing that is taking away our power. You're squashing down your power because that like Abraham Hicks, like letting that cork come to the top of the water, working through it, clearing it, is your sense of personal empowerment. So if we can actually take charge of where those triggers are coming from, where that limitation is coming from, you can manifest what you want. So your ability to attend to your feelings and your emotional triggers will make a massive, massive difference to having or manifesting a rich life. So putting it forward here, the scale, we have that restrictive energy at the bottom, like I was talking about, paying off the debt, and your energy restricts. And there could be like that level of shame and that frequency of, let's say, about 20. And then we go up the scale a little bit and we're sort of like kind of survival mode, getting by. There may be a level of anger. Anger always, always follows powerlessness. So getting by, the sense of powerlessness, you're doing better than that fear and that shame, but it's still like in that scenario of getting by. Then we move up the scale to the sense of acceptance. Okay, things are how they are. And there may be that neutral observational kind of energy, that 250, moving up the scale to that pure potential, the love, the willingness, the excitement, up there at the about 310. And then expanding your energy, that high vibrational appreciation and enlightenment, some a healer who can channel in and bring in that high vibrational energy will have a ripple effect of those around them that they encounter. So the more that you raise your frequency, the more that that light is being shared within world's population. So let's look at the lower scale just for a moment. And this represents that lower scale, emphasizing that lack and that need. So it's like that consciousness of being stuck in the matrix, the 3D, the ego's got a grip. And so the more that you really, really, really need to have that material thing, the more that you actually push away that manifestation. That whole bottom scale there is about keeping you entrapped in that fearful, working the 9 to 5, slave kind of, yeah, heavy duty energy. And this is where people try and work hard to achieve their manifestation. They're coming from a place of like how and pushing hard to make it happen. And they believe that the things outside of them need to be fixed so that they're fixed. And of course, no, that's not the case. Then when you start doing the inner work and you raise your frequency, manifestation from this level is like someone going through that spiritual awakening. They start to recognize that how they feel within themselves has an impact on the outside world. The more that they change the dance within themselves, the more that they require other people around them to change the dance. So in this neutral kind of middle zone there, we can observe our triggers and we can get curious about our beliefs. We can learn that, yep, my beliefs create my reality. And if I change within, my outer world will change. So this level is all about the doing. So previously, the other one was all about the having. This is all about the doing. And then at that high frequency, this is where we are, sorry, this is where we accept that yes, your beliefs will create your reality. However, this level is tuning into your frequency of what your heart desires and ultimately actually suspending that belief. At this higher level, the focus is from away from having or being, to being. So being present in the moment, connecting to the authentic you. At this higher energy, the flow, sorry, start again. The high energy flows through, and to get, start again. I can feel I've gone into this zone and I can feel my words just going because it's just the energy, my heat coming off me. But this is where we move away from that linear thinking. This is when we start to recognize our role in the unity consciousness. And let me explain really quickly on what this can look like at that quantum level, especially with manifestation. That sometimes people with the linear thinking hold on to the idea that when they're driving their car, that they are moving through reality. They're driving, they're moving through reality. Okay, they expect a tree, a bird, a pedestrian, and they're moving through reality. But what quantum science proves time and time again is that we, our body, our presentness, whatever the big word is stationary, and actually reality moves past us. So you hear Dolores Cannon talk about how when we expect to go to a seminar, that we expect people there, and then as we move into that reality, then where consciousness is, then that's our experience. So the room doesn't actually exist until our consciousness gets there. I know it can be a little bit mind bending, but it's similar to like if a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And of course, no, because there's no auditory measuring instruments to recognize the sound. So no, it doesn't make a sound. But within the manifestation and the quantum world, I won't go too much in depth with it here. But at that higher level of the scale, it's basically saying that this reality is, what is that word? Like it's bendable, that if you expect the good car park, it's your reality, it's your game, it's your video game. If you expect the good car park, the good car park will be there. And if you expect, you want that, you want to create a business, and instead of the doing and the having to market yourself to be out there to get the clients, it's actually being in this higher realm to expect the clients to find you, a moth to a flame. You echo that out in your energy field and you ask those clients to find you. You will attract in that one person who has a mouth on them. Go check out such and such, go check out such and such, go check out such and such. And you don't need any marketing. You've raised your frequency, expanding out the light. Anyway, I digress, as I tend to do. So going back to the slides, catching my breath because I get so excited to share this with you. I want to point out that we're not actually aiming to stay in that high vibrational state all the time, because this is not realistic. I want to point out that if you have a friend who's just always happy, always switched on, always in that high vibrational state, then they may need to see the doctor. We're in a human body having a human experience. It is not realistic to be high vibe all the time. And if we force ourselves to need to be in this high vibrational energy, we're actually going to drop into fear and scarcity because we're not doing what we think we should be doing, right? So it's important to recognize how our body responds to our day-to-day experiences, and we need to take notice of those triggers, not avoid them, and to be mindful that if we can make more uplifting choices. So something simple in a day-to-day life, especially in the day-to-day life of Claire, if a TV show comes up and the content is like, brutal and murder, and my cortisol starts coming to the surface, and my unconscious mind can't tell whether I'm in the movie or I'm watching it. This is when you need to choose something else, unless you're enjoying that kind of cortisol, adrenaline, stress hormone. But this is when you get to choose something else that will bring up your frequency. If you're in that relationship breakup, and it's like, I just want to be sad and watch miserable stuff, sure, have your pity party, but know that you're gonna have to work on why you attracted that partner in to begin with. So in my world, in my reality, I know that there are energy beings who will take energy. They don't have the ability to create energy. Um, if you think about people who are quite toxic, they haven't invested in themselves to be able to create the energy and the abundance for themselves. So what they do is they take, 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 take. They create fear in other people, they create stress in other people, and then they become an easy target to take energy. So if you're experiencing people pushing your buttons, creating the fear, creating the tension, it's time to again go and look at where that's coming from to raise your frequency so those people can't find you. Hope that makes sense. I've gone off topic again. So how do we know if or where our emotions are on this scale? Like, how do we know if where we are on that scale? Ask yourself, are you often experiencing delays and setbacks? Because if so, you're at that lower end of the scale. Are you tired, drained, and fatigued? Again, you've dropped your energy. Are you having trouble sleeping, staying asleep, and getting to sleep? Are you experiencing unhealthy levels of stress and anxiety? Is your health that roller coaster that you just have to manage? Have you lost a sense of direction and feeling stuck? Or are you in that spiral of people pleasing? Now, again, while all of this may appear to be like the human experience, if you're experiencing chronic levels of this, it's like that's not how life is meant to be. You are caught in some limiting energy there that needs to be addressed. And again, the power is within you to take action to move that. Anytime you're feeling depleted, you're gone into scarcity. There is a difference about being tired and being depleted. So if you're finding yourself just constantly being depleted, have a look at where you're angry in your life, where you're resentful in your life. Resentment typically shows up as things like fungus and like thrush and tinea, and it's that resentment that just sort of festers in your body, as well as the anger. The anger will just is a sense of powerlessness that people aren't hearing you. There's a lack of respect for your boundaries, and again, that will drain your energy system. So if you're noticing health concerns in any way, that again is your body letting you know that you are well and truly out of alignment. Such as, let me just go through it because there's no slides, but just feeling that intuitive pulse. For somebody who's getting constant sore throats, it tells us that you're suppressing something that you want to say, or you've been suppressed to speak your truth. If you're somebody who's experiencing constant headaches, the mind, the brain is part of the control panel of your experience. And so, where are you over controlling? Where does control equal safety? What happened to you in the past that stopped you from feeling safe in this world? If you're experiencing gut issues, again, the type of work I do, you can easily clear gut issues like we tend to hold fear and shame in our gut. And so, where did that come from? Because if you think about a child who's sitting at the dinner table, things may be tense at the family dinner table. And so, with every single mouthful you swallow, all of that tension that's at the dinner table, and by the time it gets to the gut, the body says, like, oh, I'm not processing this, I don't want it. And then symptoms like IBS and things like that start to show up. Knee problems, ankle problems. That's a fear of like moving forward. There's safety in being stuck in what you know now rather than actually moving forward, fear of the unknown. And so, I mean, we can go on hands and wrists, hands, fingers fitting in. So, where are you not fitting in if you're manifesting in hand problems? Where are you not fitting into your world? Or wrists tend to be about holding on to that competition. So, if you found yourself uh, in a in a if you found yourself in a spiral of competing unhealthy competition, got it. You may actually experience wrist problems. The list goes on, and Louise Hayes goes into a lot of detail. Or Vet Rose, other people go into more detail about that. And so, if you can explore how your health is holding you back, then you can again clear that, and you can and then you can manifest in what you want. The body will always tell us where we are out of alignment with our manifestation. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to help somebody clear their fertility problems or their digestive problems or their chronic health problems. It's always interconnected in some way. So that's a whole nother course in itself, right? The metaphysical connection to manifesting. Oh, alrighty. So I hope that makes sense, everybody, because it's a detailed conversation that we could spend hours on. I will talk to you later.